Welcome everyone to another episode of Chess King. Today in this video we are going to see one match which held between Humpy and Sara. Friends, the Women Grand Prix of chess which is held in Monaco right now, where Indian Women Grandmaster Humpy, which playing from India. Well, as of now, after 7 rounds, Humpy has scored 4 points out of 7 rounds, and right now he is occupying the second position in the tournament. And Katerina Lagno, who is from Russia, he has scored 4.5 point, and right now he is securing the first position in the tournament. One more match is going to be happened between Humpy and Lagno. After that match, if Humpy wins in that match, then she can become the first position in the tournament. Now today we are going to discuss about that match which was held between Humpy and Sara. So the Humpy's opponent was Sara, who is known as Sara Sadat. Sara Sadat, who is basically from Iran, but right now he is playing from the Spain. Talking about this game, from the starting of the game, Humpy was taking the initiative of this game. So let's see that game. D4, knight f6, c4, and we will see this game has ended where we don't expect such type of games to be ended, but this game has ended in such a position. So let's see. So the game continues with e6, bishop to g5, bishop b4, knight to d2. So this is a type of different variation which Humpy was playing. So it shows that Humpy has prepared a lot in this variation. Then h6 was played, bishop h4, d5, c1, then d into c4, and rook into c4. So basically we don't see this type of variation. Most of the time rook comes to the c4 square. Normally bishop capture the c4 pawn if black capture the c4 pawn, but here in this case Humpy has played rook into c4. Then bishop went back to e7, queen to c1, castling, then e3, knight c6, knight f3, knight to d5. Actually black wanted to trade off this bishop, so bishop into bishop e7, queen into bishop e7, then rook c5. The plan of rook c5 is to block the queen's attack so that queen can't enter towards this diagonal. Then rook to d8, bishop to b5. And now since the bishop was not coming, so now bishop has come to d7 square, then a3. The plan of a3 is to stop the knight somewhat like here. When the knight goes, then also this knight can't come to b4 square. And a6, then bishop to d3, bishop to e8. Now white played castling. So as of now white has completed fully his development, and you can see from this position identified that there are very less spaces is there with the black pieces. Right now the most of the pieces are clumsy and there are not much spaces for the black pieces. And then the game continues with rook c8, bishop to b1. Why bishop b1? Because thereafter you can play queen to c2 and you can give a checkmate threat also to the black king. That is why Humpy has played bishop to b1. Sara played knight to b8 and then Humpy played queen to c2. So there is a direct checkmate threat to the black king. So g6 was forced. Now you can see there are so many gaps here for the black king, and there is also a weakness in this diagonal. So queen to b3, pressure on this b7 pawn, so knight to d7. Now rook came to c1. Directly you can't capture this b7 pawn because there is a threat of knight to c5 rook. So rook to c1. So there is a pressure now on the b7 square, so knight to b6, then knight to e4, bishop to a4. There is attack on this queen, so queen goes to a2, knight to d7, b4. So the playing b4 is to clear this clearance for this queen. Now anytime if you push this pawn to e4, then you can have attack on this f6 square, and in the game also it is happening in the later on part. So let's see. So a5 was played and Humpy captured that one immediately. So rook came to a8, now knight to g3, bishop to b5, attack on this rook. So rook to e1, now rook into a5 square. Now the e4, the playing to e4 is after moving knight to somewhere like this, there or here. queen can come to this d2 square, attack on this rook as well as on h6 pawn. So there is a double attack. So exactly same what's happening here. So e4, knight to f6, then queen to d2, attack on the rook and pawn. Rook came to a3 and then queen into h6. So you can see there is some weakness on this king side. Queen h come here, then c6. So black played c6 here instead of c6. c5 could have been much better. Then e5, attack on this knight. Knight went to h7 square, and then h4. The plan is to play h5 in the next move. Then bishop to d3. So black wants to trade up this bishop and want to reduce some pressure on this g6 pawn. So bishop into bishop, rook into bishop, and now pawn to knight to e4. So after knight to e4, you can see there are so many gaps on the f6 d6 square, and also this knight is out of the game. So from here you can identify white is completely better here. So queen went to f8. Black wants to trade up this queen so that black can reduce the pressure on this king side. So Humpy came back to f4. Now knight to b6. Knight to c5, attack on this b7 pawn, and black knight came to d5, attack on this queen. So queen came to e4, attack on this rook. So rook came back to a3, then knight into b7. So Humpy is completely a pawn up here. But the game doesn't end like this. I will show you how the game ends in the last moves. So knight came to c3, attack on this queen. So queen come back to g4. Now attack on the knight, rook to b8. Knight came to c5. Actually knight to d6 was a better move, because why, when you can play here and afterwards you can play knight to here, and there was a good coordination. You can see there was a good coordination between these two knights. So you can go to f6 also. So but knight to c5 was played, then queen to h6, and rook to c2, knight to d5. Now Humpy sacrificed his knight. So why she sacrificed? Because she wants to get 3 more pawns here. Already Humpy was a pawn up, and she sacrificed a knight to get 4 pawns up. So you can see rook into 6 was happened, and after this Humpy was completely 4 pawn up. 4 pawns up guys in this game, and this game was completely better. So knight came back to f4, attack on this queen. Rook came back to c8. So Humpy wanted to trade up the rooks, so that because he wanted to play a good end game here. So rook into rook and queen into rook, check. Queen came back to f8. Actually in this position Humpy captured the queen, but if you keep the queen till the last, then it will be much better. But Humpy did the queen into queen here and the knight into queen f8. Afterwards game can be equal, the engine shows, but it is very difficult for the black side to come over or to recover in this game, because black is completely 4 pawn downs here in replacing of one just minor piece. Then knight to g5 was played. Now this game goes towards end game. So rook to a6, then g3, attack on this knight. So knight came back to d5, then rook to b1, try to control this b file and try to pin this knight. Then rook to a7, and king to g2, knight to d7, and rook to c1. You can see there are 2 knights, and planning to goes to b6, and another knight planning to e7 and c7 in order to block this rook file. So knight to b6 is the plan, and then Humpy started to bring his king towards the center. So king f3, and then here the game ends in a shocking way. Thereafter black played rook to a3, started giving a check here, and then king goes to g4, and then knight goes to d7, and knight played to e6 here. Again attack on this knight, so knight came back to f4. So here in this case black could have captured this knight, so that this could have been an equal endgame. So engine shows it, but it's very difficult again for a player to find out good moves in this kind of endgames where the opponent is completely 4 pawns down. Then black played rook to a4, then knight captured knight, and then rook captured pawn, give check, and came back, and then rook captured the knight. So here this position came where this endgame was completely better for white. So after this Sara resigned from this game, guys. So this was a shocking loss for Sara, what FIDE says, but actually this game was really good for Humpy from the starting of the move. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more chess content. And you can share this video also with your friends and family members, so they can also watch this video and learn chess. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.